A few years ago, we went to the city centre with one of my students. Since in the city centre parking is extremely difficult, we went late at night, in the evening, and we were trying to find parking. No parking was available. So there was an open car park. So the place we went to, we parked the car outside and we went in and we inquired from the proprietor that where can we park the car? So he said, oh, we don't have a car park, but next door there is a shared car park. So go there and just park, that's fine. So that's where we were supposed to go. So we followed his instructions. We went round the corner and we parked. There was a guard there. So we said, oh, we've just come from this place round the corner. And he's told, yeah, he says, yes, come and park here. Parked up. Then we parked and we went. Sometime later we came out and the gates were locked of the car park. I was thinking, what's going on here? And there were lots of cars inside, but the gates were locked. And now it was quite late, about 10 o'clock in the evening, at night. So we started looking around in the city centre. There was no one there that we could ask. And the place we had come out of, we couldn't go back to him either, because he had gone. But what do we do now? So eventually a guard came, but a different one to the previous one. And he came and he stood at the gates. So we said to him, our car's in there. She said to us, show us your passes. He said, we don't have any passes. Your colleague let us in earlier on, that's our car there. And he said, no. He said, this is a private car park. So we said, well, we were told it's a shared car park. He says, no, this is a private car park. And you shouldn't have been let in. Where's your pass? He said, we don't have a pass. So we said, who does it belong to? So he said, the casino next door. So we said, in there. So we said, what do we do now? The student who was with me, he's from out of the city, and he actually told me he'd be coming today, but he's not here. So we said, what do we do? So he says, well, you have to go and get a pass. Now, we were both in thobes, and so I said to him, I'm not going in. And he says, no, Shaykh, you wait here. So he went inside. Now, Allah knows what happened. I'm standing there all alone, and half an hour later, he still hadn't come out. So I said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. I'm calling him, and there's no answer, because inside the casino, he had to go down, there was no signal, which I found out later. So I went looking for him. And I went as far as I could, just to the foyer, and I called him, and I couldn't find him. And there was a receptionist there. He said, are you looking for your colleague? He's downstairs. So I said, can you call him? So they called him. So I said, what's going on? She says, oh, Shaykh, they won't give us a pass. They said, you have to become a member. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. He was trying to haggle with them, convince them. Khayran. About 45 minutes later, we both came out of the casino. And when we did, there were a few Muslim taxi drivers going past. And I said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Imagine what they must be thinking. So, at times, if you see something, there can be a very innocent and valid explanation. Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu says that if you hear something from your fellow Muslim, then as long as you can give it a favourable interpretation, make sure you give it a favourable interpretation.